All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday's best on the website. Also, the best thing ever ate. Talking about breakfast earlier today. We got a lot of Tech basketball to look at. The comeback kids. They're not kids. They're seasoned veterans, but the comeback kids. And how I got booted off the cover of Sports Illustrated. All of this from the Arctic Air Studios tonight. Glad you're hanging out with us tonight. Want you to be a part of the show. Want you to enjoy it. Want you to share it. You know what to do. Early arrivals. Uh, what do you do if you're an early arrival? Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, really. You let us know the audio is good, the video is good. How do you do that? You give us thumbs up, you give us hearts, all that cool stuff. Then you can hit us in the comment section, whether you're watching on Twitter, on YouTube, or on Facebook. Mercy, goodness. All right. Hey there, James. Hi there, Sue. You glad you're watching? We've got a lot of things to get to here in the Arctic Air Studios. If your air has been a little too Arctic the last few days, you know what to do. Yes, you do. You call the bear. Callthebear.com. Also, hit us on the United Supermarkets text line, 806-772-0197. Or just type it in there on Twitter, type it in there on YouTube, and we'll probably check it out. The talking box is indeed on. Either Chris, thumbs up from James. All that day late helmet stickers if you want to do that. Weston is getting in. Here's to Weston getting in early. Hold on. Product placement here. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's do it in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt. TheRaiderland.com is where you hit us up every day for the cool stuff in the morning. Get your comments in on that. You follow us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland on Facebook and YouTube channel as well. We're in the Arctic Air Studios, brought to you tonight by Premier Sportsplex. The game is on multiple locations. They've got some really cool stuff going on. Adult Basketball League is starting up here pretty soon. I think they've got a Bring a Friend free coming up. You need to hit their Facebook page is really good. So go to Premier Sportsplex on Facebook. And, our good friends at Boot City, 1 Money 7 Mile outside the West Loop on 19th Street. Cool shirts, cool hats. I should get my hat. I can't reach my hat. I got my hat over there. Oh, we got that going on. So tonight, I want to get your thoughts on why you think Texas Tech basketball is better this year. We've got the open date coming up. We can talk anything and everything. We weren't with you on Monday. So helmet stickers for over the weekend, like my wife, and the pork tenderloin she made in the air fryer, which did not need a knife. You get a helmet sticker for that. Patrick freaking Mahomes gets a helmet sticker just for being Patrick freaking Mahomes. And then Jason Kelce gets one for being the hero we didn't know we needed, but we needed Jason Kelce because it took attention away from Taylor Swift. And maybe I'm just feeling a little awkward saying this out loud as a man, but it was a nice change of pace to see a shirtless man in cold weather temperature instead of Taylor Swift. I'm going to have a drink now. When you say it out loud, it doesn't come out the way you thought it might. So yeah, helmet stickers, we can give those out. The air fryer is one of the greatest modern day inventions. Fact. Helmet sticker to the air fryer. I was blown away. So we got a couple of pork tenderloins, kind of back in the holiday season, whatever, and I forgot we had them. She got them, marinated them all day Sunday, and then Sunday evening, bam, air fryer, and I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see how that. Did not need a knife. It was unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. Hi there, Glenn. So, yeah, that's how you get a helmet sticker on that. Pop Isaac's helmet sticker. We've not chatted since the big comeback against BYU. What a hell of a deal. You got 2 basketball games for one. You had a crappy game, and they had a great game. And you ended up winning one. Yeah, sorry. I'm so dried out. so dried out from all the allergy meds and everything, cough and sinus we're having to take right now. It's brutal. It's horrible. It's awful. You know. So I get this dry cough, and it's horrible at night. I don't know if you guys are dealing with it. Trying every little new thing. I've changed up allergy, this or that, and I take far too much allergy medicine, and I know that probably that's one of the things probably not working that way. Hey, if you're on Twitter, hit us up your question or comment. You can hit us on Twitter. You can hit it in the comment section. United Supermarkets 806-772-0197. That's the text line. The text line may be down. It's entirely possible that the text line is not working. I noticed this a couple of days ago. I've tried to run some tests on it. I'm not sure what's going on. I apologize. We will get that working as soon as we can. Hi there, Ryan. Now, if you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, I think on YouTube you can still comment, and we should be able to see it in the comments. We should be able to. It's just a matter of bouncing back and forth. Oh, geez. One of my cats is out there acting like it's getting run over by a lawnmower. Really? Hey, Finch, get a job. So that's the lay of the land tonight. Let's do the basketball stuff first. Why do you think Tech basketball is better this year? Why are they winning games at a pace they haven't won at in a while? And they are squarely on the inside part of the NCAA tournament right now. If it were starting today, and that hasn't been the case in many, many years, 5 years, 6 years. The case has been over the last, half decade, hey, play crappy non-conference. We'll try to make up for it in conference play, and we'll get the best seed we can. Well, right now, they're a mid-level, 6 to 8 type seed right now, and it's only getting better. Why are they better? What's different? Hot toddy instead of all the allergy meds. Why not do all of that, Damon? Oh, I didn't know it was an either or. Hi there, Michael. So why is this team winning these games? Why are they coming back? I said Saturday. I used to use this a lot when broadcasting because I clept out of all of my college English credit. I didn't have to take an English course at Texas Tech. I clept out of all of it because I was well read and educated at Coronado High School, including Edith Hamilton mythology. So we know the myth in the story of Sisyphus. The virus was eliminated with the dismissal of the previous coach. You say, oh, what? No, I mean, this you weren't doing this when you were under Beard. Culture changes the game. I think part of it, he did a better job of bringing in players that fit as a team from the transfer portal. Okay, yeah, I'll give you some of that a little bit, Chris. But really, this was kind of a team that was just kind of not thrown together. I don't want to say that because that would besmirch what McCaslin was doing. They did have a plan. They were trying to bring in guys, but they were just trying to get dudes. They didn't have time to just sit there and say, I need this dude, this dude. They're like, we need dudes. Jerome Tang, Kansas State. If you don't have dudes, get dudes. The best coaches I've ever seen had good dudes. All the bad coaches had bad dudes. Get good dudes. Why only a 6-8 right now? That many teams have better resume? Yeah. It's right now. Yeah. There are that many teams that have better resume. HoopsHD.com, Bracketville.wordpress. When we look at the RPI and everything else, yeah, that many teams have better resumes. But here's the good news, Ryan. The tournament doesn't start today. So you're much farther along. Can you hear the cat out there? The cat sounds like it's being hit by a weed whacker or something. It hadn't been fed in 8 minutes. Oh, well, what you going to do? No, I'm not going to release the cat. No, if I let the cat in here, the show's all over. You're doing this after losing a player like that. Yeah, this team with Cambridge, oh, man, I would really like to say. Hush! You'll get your porridge when you get it. Yeah, you don't like it, leave. Yeah, yeah. No, don't care. Back to the game the other day. Sisyphus. So, in Greek mythology, Sisyphus was tortured to continually roll up a boulder up the top of a hill, only to have the boulder roll back down and continue rolling it up. And that was basically his hell. That was his punishment. Cat whines worse than Rodney Terry. Yeah, we did. Cats down. Take that. And over the years, one of the things that became glaringly obvious to me when it came to comebacks in college basketball is it's one thing to make the comeback, depending on how far you have to come back from, how much time you have, and everything else. Could be 10 points, could be 17 points. I've seen 17 points by the Lady Raiders, 17-2 down in the Sweet 16 to Notre Dame in 1999, 2000, and they came back and beat them there in Memphis, get to the Elite Eight against Tennessee. It took everything they had; they could barely hold on. That's the key here. That it takes so much on the comeback, the mental toughness, the physical toughness, just to come back from that kind of deficit. That the level you have to play at compared to your opponent is amplified. That's why you don't want to get down that much. And so many times seen teams make the comeback, get to within a bucket, get to they've cut it down to a one possession game, and you get there mentally, and maybe there's 2 minutes to go, maybe there's 4 minutes to go, doesn't matter. You get there mentally, and then your body says, I'm out. I'm done. I'm, and you take that last timeout, or there's a timeout, and that's one of the worst things I think that happens to teams in that moment is they sit down and they quit playing, and they take that deep breath and they go, "Holy crap! Now what?" Texas Tech twice this year has blown by that moment, and more so Saturday against BYU, that they rolled right past that. We've caught you. We're tired. We pushed the rock up on top. Now we're pushing it back down on you. That is a rare trait. That is a team that has great physical conditioning, one, and mental toughness on this on the other. Some teams have one or the other. I've seen really mentally tough teams that just weren't physically there. I've seen really tough teams that mentally weren't there. It's a rare combination. So obviously, this means that Texas Tech is going to win the national championship because they did that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have a unique combination going on with this team right now that was displayed again. I'm really getting to the point. I'm about to open the door and let this cat in here. Nobody wants that. Cat whines worse than Rodney Terry. So what does that tell me that's going on within the program? That tells me the guys are bought in. That tells me that these guys are individually tough. And I don't know. I don't know if Coach Parchman's still on here or not. I saw him chime in here. Hall of Fame coach, state championship high school Texas coach. There is team tough, and there are the individuals who make up team tough. I can do everything I can to try to create a team toughness. But if I don't have the core individuals that are there to build around that, it doesn't always work. And I know that sounds maybe anathematic to what we're talking about here, that we're talking about culture, we're talking about everything, that it's a group culture, but it has to begin with individuals. The individuals have to be tough first to emanate forth throughout the culture, throughout the team. Maybe you work at a business, well, maybe you have a job, corporate otherwise. It's the individuals first who can make the corporate thing work. I don't know if this team's going to do whatever, but I've seen enough to know I think they've got some really good core individual guys that are pretty tough mentally. That's pretty good. Mental focus will win more games in crunch time than physical force. Dallas says our halftime at halftime this felt like a bubble team. At the end felt like a Sweet 16 team. Yeah, I mean, we can sit there and make those appraisals now. What it was one of those games that gives you hope when times are tough in the NCAA tournament, which you will play tough games, that they can draw upon this and go forward and multiply and be fruitful. No, that's totally different. Sorry, that was like Genesis and Exodus, I think. So when I look at what's different, what's better about this team right now, they play good enough defense. Their offense at times is frustrating to me because I still think, my English stinks, yeah. I still think they take too many three-point shots. Other than Pop Isaacs, I will give him a special dispensation, but the rest of you guys, you're not really good at it. Don't take too many. That when they go inside, they're a lot better. And if this team will just continue to pound it inside and get high percentage shots, win the points in the paint, they're going to be a good team. Chris on the text line, they seem to be more aggressive and tough than the past few years. Yeah, I appreciate you throwing that in there, man, Chris. Physical. When we talk about tough, we talk about physical. We talk about getting inside. I think it's a mindset. It's not so much a physicality. All these dudes are big, strong, and everything else. It's just a matter of committing to going in there and not being afraid to go in there, enter the basketball, and take some shots. So we like what we're seeing on that. Patsy's watching. What she doesn't know is we're watching you, Patsy. We're talking about this and that, Tech basketball, why they're better. We're going to get into how I got knocked off the cover of Sports Illustrated. This is a 100% factual, true story. Couldn't make this one up. Trust me. Brought to you by Boot City One Money, saving mile outside the West Loop, 19th Street. Go out there. They still got a lot of great, long sleeve shirts and everything else you're looking for. Here pretty soon, though, they're going to start, spring. Right around the corner. Get you out there. And we can hand out helmet stickers if you want to. We can talk about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. I said yesterday on the 60 Seconds commentary, which we try to do that every day. I didn't do one today. I've got one tomorrow talking about Big 12 basketball that hopefully you guys will like. But the NFL keeps trying to manufacture this Patrick Mahomes rival deal, just like the PGA was desperate to have Tiger Woods have a rival in the early 2000s, and it was going to be David Duval, it was going to be Phil Mickelson, it was going to be Vijay Singh, it was going to be fill in the blank, and nobody was ever worthy. There is no rival right now to Patrick Mahomes. He stands alone. He's different. He does things that haven't been done at this level in a long time. It's not Allen. Jackson going up against Lamar this weekend. Great quarterback, fantastic MVP. Hey, show me the rings, baby. Show me the playoff wins. Well, that's not a quarterback stat. It's a team stat. Okay, it is and it isn't. You got to have it all. This isn't a Manning-Brady deal. This isn't one of those things. That was a weird deal. Chris, okay, you got there right as I was going to say it. That was a weird deal where we had about 10 years of Manning-Brady. That if you go back through the 90s and the 80s and whatever, it's hard to sit there and say, what was that? Was it Aikman and Favre? Well, no, not really. Favre ascended as Aikman descended. So was it Young and Aikman? Well, no. Well, Young won one year, and okay. So we go back Montana and Elway in the 80s. Well, okay, Elway got to Super Bowls, couldn't win them. until they got the running game there in the late 90s. So that was a different deal. So was it, is Montana and Marino? No, well, Marino goes to one Super Bowl and loses. Okay, well, let's go back to the 70s. Well, obviously, there had to be great quarterback duels in the 70s. The closest I could give you would be Bradshaw and Staubach, that they play in the Super Bowl 2 different times. They play in 10 and they play in 13. Well, that's the only 2 times they played. Bradshaw wins 4, Staubach wins 2, loses 2 to the Steelers. So it must have been somebody else, right? So Bradshaw and Tarkenton. But the NFL is desperate to try to create this Mahomes and something rivalry, and it's not there. I get why they want to do it, but how about the better thing is just say Mahomes is freaking king of the hill. Mahomes is up here and everybody else is down here, and keep taking your shots at Mahomes. I keep trying to do something to unseat Mahomes. Are we ready to tell true stories yet about getting knocked off the cover of Sports Illustrated? Are we? Anyone? Bueller? All right, so we see Sports Illustrated last week announcing that they're pretty much done. Okay, that sucks. I feel bad for them. I don't think I ever actually had a subscription to Sports Illustrated. I don't think I ever did. I really don't think ever in like mail or otherwise, but you always had it. You buy whatever. Sporting news, yes. So, there was always the cool faces in the crowd deal, the inside whatever cover, and, you might make that. No, I was destined, I'll say this, to be part of a huge feature in Sports Illustrated in early 1994. Now, you may be wondering, my God, how good was Hyatt back then that they were going to do that? It had absolutely zero to do with me. It had everything to do with former Lady Raider Swoops. So here we go. The landscape back then, this was going to be a piece by Sports Illustrated, and it was almost a where are they now? Here's Cheryl Swoops winning the 1993 national championship. And a year later, what's she doing? The highest of highs, the highest of heights in college basketball, Swoops mania, everything else. Nike, this is pre-WNBA, mind you, by 3 years. This is where women's college basketball stars played at the highest level, and then there was nowhere to go unless you played overseas. So Sports Illustrated decides they're going to come out to Lubbock, and they're going to do in early January an update on Cheryl Swoops, the Michael Jordan of college of women's basketball, the darling. She was being picked up by Nike at that time. Everything else, and kind of the genesis of the story was going to be, here we are. Why isn't she playing in the NBA? There is no WNBA. So this is early January. They send out Tim Kirkjian to do the writing. Great writer. You guys probably remember him from ESPN, a lot of baseball, ESPN, Baseball Tonight, everything else. So Sports Illustrated sends to Lubbock camera, photographer, Tim Kirkjian, everything else. This is lost in history that the year after she wrapped up, she did several games on radio with me and Kent Best as a color analyst on the Lady Raider Network in 93, 94. I'm not sure whether she hated it or not. Yeah, this is before the Jordan Swoops commercial. I'm not sure whether she hated it or not. She was disinterested. I've got a photo somewhere, and it's a great picture. It's during a timeout somebody took. and it's us, on press row, and I'm kind of looking down while you're, and Cheryl's like, "Why am I here? I don't want to be here." Now I say this, me and Cheryl are friends. We've been friends for a long time. I hope we're friends for a long, long time. She didn't want to be. She didn't want to be doing radio. She wanted to be playing ball. She hated every minute of it. So Sports Illustrated sends out, like I said, Kirchen. They come in, they're interviewing everybody, and we sit down at the Coliseum one day, one afternoon. I think it was during a practice, and he must have interviewed me for an hour about the rise of swoops, impact on Lady Raider basketball, Lubbock, Texas, college, everything else. Great. Had a tremendous visit, tremendous interview. So cool. Obviously, he's interviewing everybody else. Coach, so here we are. We're doing a game maybe that night or the next day. There's the SI photographer taking pictures of us, press row, me and Cheryl, me and Kent Cheryl, yeah, everything else. Yeah, I can't wait, all right. He had them come over and take, individual pictures of me, individual. I'm like, this is working freaking out. I am gonna be in Sports freaking Illustrated. This is too cool. So they get done, and I can't remember whether it was Kirchen or whoever, maybe somebody with tech. I said, hey, they're looking at this is going to be the cover story in a week. This is going to be the cover story in a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on artwork and everything else. Pulling, doing it together. It's where is she now? The rising star. Why aren't we seeing Cheryl Swoops? Blah blah blah. All this stuff. Anybody remember what happened on the international sports scene, the Olympic sports scene, in January of 1994? Hi there, David. Hi there, Chris. And Chris gets there. So literally about a week and a half or so after all of this happens, Nancy Kerrigan is attacked at the Olympic skating trials. And we now know the story with Tanya Harding and, the two idiots and whatever. So we don't have to go through all that. And I got freaking galoolied. Why? Why me? Why now? Why? So close. So I have this odd connection now to Nancy Kerrigan, and I hate Tanya Harding. And I've never met Nancy Kerrigan. And if I did, I would give her a hug and I would say, "You don't understand." Yeah, Clinda on the textile. No, not the Atlanta. I mean, Chris, that was in '96 actually. Come off the United Supermarkets text line. So that happens about a week and a half after. And if you go back, it's about 2 weeks later. Could have been so. I could have had I could. Hey, at least you had a prime. At least you had a prime. So, are we in bonus time yet? No, we're going to go bonus time. So we were going to run about a week and a half out, and that's exactly when that happens. And they drop the cover with Nancy Kerrigan on it, and that knocks the story back. And remember, this is Sports Illustrated at the time. This is a weekly rolling deal. It's like a newspaper. I mean, they're churning this out. So they're churning out the Nancy Kerrigan deal. The next week, I think they had another Olympic thing. Then we had Super Bowl. I think we had Super Bowl right after that or something. And we kept hearing back. No, not Nancy Kerrigan. Tanya Harding kneecapped me. And we kept hearing back, hey, the story's going to run, the story's going to run. And it kept getting pushed back. And then they had the Olympics, obviously, and spring stuff. Then all of a sudden, and I know it's hard to believe, but baseball was still actually a thing back then. So then baseball is going to, in March Madness is all about the men. And then I can't even remember who it was. Somebody within the program said, yeah, they killed the story. It's not going to run. They're going to revisit it at another time. But I guarantee somewhere there is Sports Illustrated goes out of business 30 years later. 30 years later, 30 years later, there are pictures, there are notes, there's Kurtgen interviews, there's everything of this great story. And I gave killer quotes. And I knew they were going to have a picture of me and Cheryl doing the game together on the cover. And I was going to be there. So all this stuff the last few weeks, last few days about your favorite cover, mine is the one that I was on that never ran. True story. This freaking close. Years later, I run into Kurtgen at the ballpark in Arlington in the press box. I say, you don't remember me, but you came out to Lubbock for SI and did a deal. Swoops? Yeah. Shame that it never ran. That was a good story. Yeah. So that's my favorite SI cover. Yeah, 100% green, white, checker. That's my favorite SI cover. The one I would have been on. Me, Cheryl, broadcasting. Oh, it would have been great. Tanya freaking Harding. Nancy Kerrigan. If I ever meet Nancy Kerrigan, I'm totally telling her this. I know they hit you with a lead pipe in the knee, Nancy, but let me tell you about the pain I felt. Let me tell you about the pain I felt. It also goes to tell you just how freaking big. Sorry. Just how freaking big Lady Raider basketball really was back in the 90s, that if you didn't live it, if you weren't a part of it, everything else, it's easy to forget what kind of deal it was. She medals, you know. Hell, about that time I was starting to wear those lace-up boots. You remember the lacers? Yeah, my boot string broke. Yeah, if you don't know your Olympic history, you don't get that. But yeah, my boot string broke. I can't even lace. I need more time. Does SI make it to March Madness? Probably not. It may. It'll limp along. You know, it's now a monthly. They can ratchet that thing out. I mean, hell, most of the stuff is done by that Chat GTP thing or whatever. It doesn't really take you much. You know, I would feel worse about SI going away if it'd been Sports Illustrated over the last whatever, but it offed itself like so many publications did over the years. The one that I still mourn, the one that I hate more, is the Sporting News going away over the years. Having a subscription to that from the early '80s on through almost high school, the Sporting News was the best, completely the best. Yes, it was the swimsuit issue, Lauren, that I got knocked off the cover on. Hey, I thought the thong was tasteful. My people said it looked good. That's all I mean, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Yeah. So Sporting News was a much harder loss for me than Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated kind of killed itself. But back in the day, SI, it was the name itself, Illustrated, the photography, that disappeared. Yeah, he's got Charlie Arnault, I think, willing to come on and do one. So hey, good on her, man. You know. But the Sporting News was the best. That's where I learned about hockey. That's where I learned about teams all around the country. It was the best ever when it comes to the columns that they had, and they had columnists from all around the country, all the major papers that would write about their teams. And if you're living in West Texas, that's how you knew about Detroit. That's how you knew about Baltimore. That's how you knew about Seattle. You read Art Spander coming out of San Francisco, Joe Falls in Detroit. What was his name? Not Buford. I wish Don Williams was on. He would remember the guy out of Atlanta. I want to say Buford, but that's not right. Sporting news to me was much more impactful. And it was a dinosaur waiting to die in the 90s. And it held on even in the online form. I thought it was really good in the early mid 2000s, but it was. Is Sports Illustrated moving to online content? It already has. Already did. They've tried that. It's done. Just kind of bitter here that Lauren made me talk about the thong incident of 2012. You get one bad piece of advice from one bad PR person. They say it looks good on you. Yeah, there you go, Lauren. Don't fall into that trap. Looks good on you. Okay. So there's the story. That's how I got knocked off the cover of Sports Illustrated in 1994. You can look it up. It's all there. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow on 60 Seconds of Raiderland in the morning, look for why the Big 12 basketball is awesome and how it came about and the reasons. I'll give you the reasons why Big 12 basketball is awesome, among other things. Plus, it is Wednesday, overrated, underrated, rated just right Wednesday. Check that in the morning at theraiderland.com. Coming up later tonight on your late local news, check out KMAC 28 with Lauren, with David, and with Ron, and maybe the other guy. What's his name? Brian? Is he going to be on? I don't know. He only works like twice a week now. He's really drifting into that total awesome hair prima donna type thing. So I don't even think he gets mentioned anymore. If you notice all the promos that Lauren does on social media, never any mention of Brian. It's always about Ron. Always about Ron. You can learn a lot from the promos. All right, let's end the stream first off for the people on YouTube and on Twitter. And